Now, they normally don't agree on anything at all, but the Green Party and UKIP in the West Midlands have come together to protest being excluded from one of the biggest debates ahead of the election for West Midlands Mayor. Next month, around 1,000 people are expected at an event at Birmingham University, and they'll hear from Labour's Sean Simon, Tories Andy Street, Beverly Nielsen for the Liberal Democrats. But James Byrne for the Greens and Pete Durnell for UKIP say they've not been invited. Curious. Let's get more now from our Black Country political reporter, Rob Mayer. So, Rob, just tell us a little bit about this event.
Well, Adrian, this is an event being organised by a group called Citizens UK. It'll be held at Birmingham University next month. And on their webpage, they say up to 1,000 citizens from across the West Midlands will be in attendance to hear the candidates make public commitments. Now, they say it's not a political hustings or a public meeting, but it does have the appearance of a hustings, it must be said, and anyone can go online and get a free ticket. A
hustings being a debate, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone can go online and get a free ticket. I managed to do that yesterday, so presumably they'll let anyone in.
Yeah, I mean, you and I were looking at the website. Yeah. In practice, it's open to anyone who clicks a button and orders a ticket.
Yeah, that would goes through an event known as a website known as Eventbrite, where you just put in some very basic details, hit the button, you get an email with your ticket.
But you don't have to be a member of any organisation to get it. Any member of the public can go online and get one of those tickets.
That's right, and that's what the candidates like UKIP's Pete Durnell aren't happy about.
It's a hustings, but they're trying to say it isn't a hustings, which is being termed an assembly, but it's just a hustings. And the problem with that is that then they think gives them the right to exclude certain candidates. It's a matter of principle. It's a matter of being fair to all candidates. It's a matter of democracy and fairness.
So UKIP's Pete Durnell not happy, and they're considering a kind of a protest outside of the Green Party?
Yeah, that's what they're thinking of doing. Obviously, usually they wouldn't agree that the sky is blue, would they? But on this, they're fairly united, and they're trying to point out that, the Lib Dems are invited and they feel they've done better in local elections. So UKIP have more seats than the Lib Dems here. Solihull are the opposition. In Solihull, the Greens are the opposition on the council. UKIP got more share of the vote in the last general election than the Liberal Democrats, for example. James Byrne's the Green candidate. He says they're willing to stand with UKIP in protest at being barred from appearing.
I think both UKIP and the Green Party say that the established way of doing things isn't okay and needs to change, and the establishment needs to be challenged. And I think it seems that that's why Citizens UK have chosen to exclude us from this hustings. So yes, if they continue to ignore us and not let us in, and aren't going to be clear with people attending that we're not allowed to go, we'll have no option but to stand outside that hustings and make it very clear to people attending that they didn't want our voices heard.
Let's speak to one of the people behind the event. Dr. Mike Seal is chair of Citizens UK in Birmingham. Mike, good morning.
Good morning.
Why haven't you included UKIP and the Greens in this debate?
Just firstly, probably what I'd say is, just to reiterate what you've already said, is that we don't actually see it as a debate or a hustings. And what we mean by that is we don't see it as an opportunity, say, for the different political parties to outline their manifesto commitments or to have a debate about particular issues.
Makes you wonder what you're having the meeting for at all then.
Well, hopefully what we're trying to do is to get all our members, and we're kind of a civic institution which has got kind of faith groups, trade unions, community groups, and we've spent 6 months talking with our member institutions and those 1,000 people and more about what the issues are important for them in the West Midlands. And what we want to do is to say, look, these are the priorities that we have, and we want to put those to some political parties. Now, that's not all we're doing.
But your constituent groups and other members of the public, because it's quite clear that any member of the public can go to this event as long as the capacity hasn't been passed. Why have you excluded UKIP, who have more local council seats in the West Midlands, which is the mayoral election we're talking about, who have more mayoral seats than the Lib Dems? Why have you excluded UKIP? Why have you excluded the Greens, who are the opposition party in Solihull?
Okay, the first thing I'll say is we've done a number of these assemblies over the last few years. We've never invited all political parties. We've always had an active policy of not doing that, because what we don't want it to do is become an issue about political parties.
Yeah, but it's a political debate, and it's pegged to the West Midlands mayoral election. You want
Yep.
your members and the people who are interested in your issues to have the chance to speak to the candidates. Why not all of them?
Well, because what we don't want to do is we want the concentrate of the event is for us to put together and give to those parties. These are the priorities that we have.
Well, what
I
if
mean, most of
UKIP
the
or the Greens should win the West Midlands mayoral election? They won't have heard what your members care about.
yes, that is a possibility. The judgment we made is that we can't have all political parties. Now, the barometer we took.
Come on, you could, Mike. You could, surely.
Not given the length of time that it is, and given that the majority of actually what we do is us presenting and giving stories that back up the priorities that we've got. If you look across the country with Citizens UK, they've had a policy of never having every party because we'd have to involve probably independents.
Well, we're not talking about other parts of the country. We're not talking about other elections. We're talking about the West Midlands mayoral election, where two significant parties in electoral terms in the West Midlands are not going to have the chance to hear what your members have to say or debate with them. You're missing out, and as a civic group, aren't you unfairly excluding people with interesting things to say and hear?
Yes, we potentially might, but we took an active decision saying we cannot and have not got the time. This is a meeting that lasts an hour and a half. We said we haven't actually got the time to hear from every political parties. So we had to make a judgment. And this was not just the leadership, it was actually the membership itself. We had a membership meeting of over 50 organisations where we debated this precise issue. We said, can we afford, given the time to hear from every political party who's standing? And we decided, no, we cannot.
OK, Mike, thanks for your time this morning. Dr. Mike Seal, the chair of Citizens UK in Birmingham, just gone quarter